Okay, welcome folks. This is a inventory and combat merging tutorial using the, as you can see, the RPG inventory interaction system and the newest combat system, the Tempest combat framework. It was released a few days ago and it's getting some quite good praise. The creators of the combat system have kindly lent me a small sample version of their system to be able to try a bit of a merging of a couple of the systems that have been highly sought after. So before we start on this couple of things, this will not be a full 100% showing of setting up weapons and armor and how to do all the in-depth stuff, because as I said, this was a test version I was given that has some limited functions of what's available to it. But all that you can find up all of that once we get this finished. You can come in and pop into the Combat Systems Discord channel and get all the info you need in there. There'll be sample projects, help from the community in there, and also some links to tutorial videos and such of other things. So that being said, let's get started. The first things you'll want to do before you start up your project is get the player tags, and these can basically be got in any of the sample projects that will be on in the Discord. And basically you will go to the config of the sample project. There will be a configuration setting there for called default gameplay tags. Just copy that one and you paste it in here into your RPG interaction folders, the config folder. And that'll just make sure you have all the proper tags for once we get started, because this combat system is heavily based on tags and such. Okay, so we just shut that down. Next thing you'll want to do right at the start, just avoid any hassle later on, then open your project settings and under inputs put this to enhanced, both of them to enhanced. This also makes use of the enhanced inputs as well of Unreal Engine. And I believe that's mostly it on the project settings. Collision, also make sure you have the interactable trace and make sure it's set to ignore. All this should be on it if you're opening right from the inventory and interaction system itself. And then the first thing we want to do is get the player character blueprint. We can delete all this movement data because that's got from the combat. Then we reparent this. Now we go to TCF and you get the default third person character. Make that the parent. Just compile. Then we get the controller blueprint. And again, we parent this TCF, and there'll be a TCF spectator pawn and a TCF player controller. Obviously we want to be the player controller. Okay. Also apologies if it seems I stop and start a couple of times. I have another version of this opened up in the background and a screen video of to double check all my work, because I think I've only done this like once or twice so far, so just to make sure we don't miss anything in this. avoid any kind of annoying errors later on. Okay, so we reparented that, got all set on that. Next was, we got the inputs, didn't we? Yes, we did. Okay, once that's done, we'll do first we check and start up. Camera moves, character moves, inputs, good, yes. As long as you're able to move your character and camera and all that. It should all, that's all set and working. So next we do AC stats component. And we find all of this, I believe, stays the same, and stat value. You'll be open up to this. Now, a lot of this will be added to, some of the stuff, and some of these functions will be completely deleted and replaced, and some will just be added to. This one will be pretty much keeping all of this, but just adding to it a bit. So first thing we'll want to do is make the event graph, and we'll get player character. Get component by class. Just type in Tempest. I believe it's the attribute system. Let me just double check my other project. I want to make sure. Yes, it is Tempest attribute, but red. So Tempest attribute. This is the thing, when you're typing in Tempest attribute, you will see two functions here. You will see a blueprint Tempest attribute components, and then you will see a core Tempest attributes component. Make sure you pick Tempest attributes component, not the BP one. Okay, and we will make this a variable. And I'll just call it attributes component. Plug that in there. Right. Then we go to our add stat values. And again, a lot of this will be, all this is going to be staying. We're just going to be adding to it to implement both the combat stats and the inventory stats. So first things first is we will get the attribute component. Get attributes by gameplay tag. And type in stat all the way to the very bottom, and you should see a little default variable just called get stat. You get this and then select from it. Now as you can see, this has the stats of the inventory's original system. Obviously later on yourself now you can add different stats, change up stats, maybe add like magic or mana or I don't know, like poise or whatever, just whatever different stats you might want to add yourself. That can all be tweaked up yourself later on, depending on what project you're doing. Connect that to this. We will go to attributes, health. Gain health, stamina, Stamina. This is called under defense power. Damage is under attack power. There is also attack speed. We will get to that one in a few minutes. We'll get the base setup of this to begin with. Okay, so from this, do a is valid. And slip that in there. From this, we will also get a couple of equal enums. Drag them in there. So, double check which two stats. I believe it was stealth and, or not stealth. I believe it was health and stamina. But you have to go with max health, max stamina. Bring them by an ore billion. And we'll branch this up here. You can tie this up higher you please. This is just how I'm doing it for the sake of how this is going. And then from this we get attribute values, I believe it was. And we break that. Drag off from this up to here. Set members attribute price. Plug that into true, and on this we just want to make the max value pin. And from this we will then want to get modify attribute. Plug that into false. And then both of these will be connected into their invalid as well. And this one too. Okay, joins it all up. Then we get this value. And we slide that up to there. Next we come back down to these properties. From the max value we'll get a add from this value you will get your current value, add the max values and such. And then drag this all the way up to the max value. Like I said, this is a bit messy, but like I said, you can sort this out however you want to have it viewed. That was almost the main functions. I'll just do a little double check here of my notes. Oh yes, the other stat that wasn't included in the combat system but is in the inventory system is attack speed. So we will edit, add new gameplay tag, attribute dot attack speed. There we go. We'll be making, we'll add that in due time, and I think that is the core for the adding the stat value off the top of my head. Next one would be get stat value. For this one we will take all of this. You can delete this if you want, but personally I just like to push them up out of the way just to keep them as a reference, just in case it might be needed them later on. Okay, what's next? Again, apologies for the stop and start. Like I said, I've only done this like once or twice so far, so I want to keep double checking my notes to make sure it's not it's not being messed up. Right, where's my other project? Okay, so we'll go to back to add stat value, and we will basically just copy all of this. You will see quite a bit of monotony for what we're going to be doing here. In fact, I think we can copy just about all of this back into get stat value. Just paste that in here now. We'll get it tidied up a bit. Right. And see, we keep all our stats here. And once again, we get in as valid. Drag off of that back into those two again. And again, max health, max stamina. From the old bullion. I believe this one goes into is valid. Okay. Attribute values max. Okay, what we'll do is we'll get the return node. Paste it. True and false. For false, we get the max value. No, for true, we tag in the max value. False, we get the current value. And then once again, we'll just get another way. One exam and leave it at 0, or is not valid. That is basically that for the get stat value. Clump stat, I believe, stays the same. And for After that we get the remove stat value. And some of this does change. I believe from about here. So once again I'll just drag all this up out of the way. Like I said, you can delete it if you want, but I just keep it there in case I might need it later on again, or any of the nodes might be needed. And once again we wrong one, I didn't save the copy and pasting. We do our little trusty copy paste. Drag this all right here. And of course, once again, our is valid. Plugged into true. And again, this we plug into actually, instead of having a drag, we'll just get a stat. And just plug it into there. And again, make your max stamina and your max health. We'll also need the, see, this is why I kept them. We'll also need the value node. So from this, we'll start with, we'll get a branch. What is valid? First plug it in, then put it over. And then we'll start with true, and from the true we drag off from attribute values. Set member attributes. Once again, just make the max value visible. Plug that in there. From the value we drag off. And get a subtract this time. Only the pin should be in the lower one, and we will be subtracting from the max value. Plug that in there. Drag down in here. Get a multiply. -1. And again, drag off from this, modify. Plug that in there. That in there, and I think that is it for that. Yes. Just do another quick check of my notes. Okay. Apologies for that. I had to make a momentary pause. I had to put the dog out and get some brain fuel. By brain fuel, I mean a cup of tea. Nectar of the gods. Anyway, focus. Right. Once we finished at the remove stat values, wasn't it? Yes, we did. And I think everything of that is set up. Yeah, I'd say so, yep. Hope I haven't missed anything now, but it's terrible when you take a break for a few minutes and you suddenly you kind of takes you out of your flow and rhythm. But from here, that's kind of the stats integrated with the actual AC stats of the inventory system. Like I said, if you want to add more, your own different ones, like you can later on, you can add maybe endurance or mana or something. But this is all the general principle of it now. The question is like I said, I'll post the Discord link in the description box of the video, so you can come there if you have any issues. Now I'll try and give you a hand with any issues you might have. But next part is we want it to show up on the actual health bar itself. So that's under UI HUD health bar. Okay, right now these are drawing for their stats from obviously the inventory system stats. Obviously we want them to draw them from the combat system stats, so and combine the two of them so that changes accordingly depending on maybe what's equipped or what you want to run with and such, and status effects and all that kind of carry on. So we go to the event graph and under I believe it's get health percent. Again, apologies for the I keep apologizing for the stop and start, but I do want to keep double checking my other project to make sure I don't get anything wrong. So we'll double check the event graph. I don't think anything changes on that. No, that all stays the same. Yep, so we get the start with health percent first. And this it will draw by now. We just push that up out of the way. Drag this out a bit. And again, get player character. Get the component by class. And again, Tempest attributes. Once again, obviously you could just copy and paste this from where we done it previously, but I just want to keep showing again. You see the BP, Tempest attributes, and the Tempest attributes components. Always pick just the Tempest attributes components, not the BP one. So click on that. Get attributes by gameplay tags. This one we will edit the health. So from here we get the attribute values. And once again, break that off. Apologies for the choking. Again is valid. And then from this we get current health and max health. just get set text to valid, duplicate that to max, plug that in there, disconnect that from there a second. From here we just drag off here and pop in there for text to float. Oh, wrong one. Drag these out a bit. And text to float, put that one in there. From max value then, plug that one in there. Just squeeze that one over there out of the way for a moment. From this we just drag off then and we get normalize to range the current value with the max value and drop that in there. And I believe that is it for get percent. Then we get the stamina. Once again we just drag this off, drag it out of the way. And we can more or less copy all of this. Just copy and paste. Plug that in there and that in there. Obviously though we have to change these ones to current stamina. And max stamina, where are you? There we go. Right in front of me. So much for my brain fuel. And then down here, instead of health, we're working with stamina. And that is basically it for that point then, I believe. Tempest attributes, stamina, make sure it's all correct. Max stamina, current stamina. Current health, max health, float from... Yes. Stuck on that. Just do another quick double check of my notes. Okay. At this point, we'll save all this just to make sure. Still move about, and as you can see even the health bar up the corner, the numbers are there but the bars are now completely blank. That's all fine. Don't need to worry about any of that. Yes, all movement, camera movement, UI, yes. What I recommend doing at this point now is after you've saved is shutting down and restarting, because we did notice there was occasionally there was some crashes within with the stat initializings, so we just we'll close this. a restart. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Open the assets we closed. Give another start try here. Oh, as you can see, it also has its own wee loading and saving. I believe all this will work as well right out of the box after once this is finished too. And no errors. Good, good, good. No errors is always good. Okay, next thing I think we need to open, where is it? I'm trying to remember. Here we go. Stats. I don't think we actually needed to, because these stats now are now conjoined with the Tempest stats, so I don't think we might not even need to tweak these off the top of my head. Time to consult the notes. Shouldn't wait yourself with while the mic's. Well, the mic's turned off. Okay. From here. And we just need to tweak up the stats to actually show properly. So from here we go to blueprints, player character, and we will set begin play. And we will call the reparent function and get the Tempest attributes, I believe it was. Drag off that and construct. Attribute of class. Take that in there, and this will be of the health. We'll just duplicate that. Get one for the stamina. Drag that in. Tidy this up a bit. And you see stats 0. I'm not sure why that is half yet. I'll look into that. But if we want to make sure it's working, we'll do a modify, which I think comes off from here. Modify attribute by, let's say, 50. So you can see it's at 50. Try modifying the stamina there, see if it does the same. Yes, there we go. See, we drink a potion, restores our health fully. Yes, excellent. Good, 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 good. And you can see health changes depending on the armor we wear. Now we've got to work on the weapons. Of course we haven't set them ones yet either for the damage, attack speed and such, so what we'll do is delete those, we don't need them. We'll make a couple more of these. This one can be defense power. And attack power. Attack power. And we'll make one more. We'll leave that one blank for a moment because we haven't made the attack speed attribute yet. You can see we do not see attack speed there at all, at all, at all. To fix that, just you can push wherever you want. I'll just put it in here for convenience. Blueprints. Attributes. We go to BP base attribute. I'll just call this BP underscore attack speed attribute. And we come in here. What we'll do is set this to 1, current minimum max, edit, attributes, attack speed. Compile, I think that's all we need to do in there. Back to character plus attack speed. Oh, have to connect these up. Attributes component. There we go. I think that might set that. Yeah, see, put on your armor, change your armor, you get armor. Shield adds to it. Weapon. Damage is calculated. No weapon, no damage. Your attack speed's minimum based on your just hand-to-hand combat if you want it. Based on stats, 6 damage, so 6 damage appears there. Attack speed, that's 25, otherwise it's 0.75. Damage 10. Armor 5, just based on just what the shield is. Obviously, like I said, because of the base stamina I haven't been able to like have attack animations or additional weapons and things. So unfortunately, I'll go by bare minimum. Let's see, let me double check my notes now and see what was next. Or if there even was any much next. So give me a moment. Okay. For that white line, I think what might be the cause of that. Remember where it was. Player controller, AC stats. Okay. Bin that. Do double check here. No, we don't bin that. So restore that. There we go. Okay, next thing we gotta work on is the actual weapons and equipment themselves. So now I've gotta find blueprints. Layer equipment. Attach item to equipment, I think. See, we're also working around a bit, so some of the newer versions of this has been replicated, so obviously Tempest isn't replicated, so we're working around that. Apologies, checking my notes again, finding what it is I need to find. Base equipable is what I need to find. There we go, base equipable. And here we have to have a reference. A variable, call it the TCF. Weapon. That was under base player. Weapon by class. Try this out. By the way. Spawn actor from class. Player character to the owner, and just split that and leave it. It'll just automatically attach. We just have to have some base settings. And what we'll do is I'll make a probably as default we'll want it to be just unarmed. Like I said, you'll probably have anyone who's bought the Tempest package will have like some of these systems already with some of the sample projects, but like I said, because this one of mine is so it's very much very basic and limited, so I'm having to make things as I go. So that's why you don't see like attack animations and all that kind of thing. A lot of that is in the tutorial videos and such, and documentation for the combat system itself anyway, so any questions on a lot of that, just say us on the Discord channel. But where was I? Oh yes. Over here we'll make a blueprint class. Base player weapon. Call it TCF. Blast. TCF. Unarmed weapon. So it's a bit easier. BP underscore TCF. And in here, description script. Inventory. There was something. Where was it? Where was the base weapon? For unarmed, first thing before we do that, we need to override set attributes and states. Delete that base player weapon. Just copy all of this. Oh, make sure we don't miss any of it. Copy all of this. And paste it in here. And then these are made obviously as local variables. Then just this last two we disconnect. Under event graph, get owner, get component, by class, and I think it's the combat. Yes, combat base. Here we go. There's Tempest base combat component and Tempest player combat component. We get want the Tempest player component. That's a tongue twister. Move this up here a wee bit. Drag off from this. Set equipped weapon. And weapon is self. Then we make the we need the PDA from the data asset. Where do I have the rest of this? There we go. I'll just keep it near beside this just to so I don't lose my place. That's it, and it's on the base player PDA. Unarmed. This is where a lot of the weapon info is made, states and such. Obviously, anyone who will look at the documentation of the combat system will see that you all add all your different inputs, states, and abilities and such, depending on what weapons equipped. But like I say, because this is just unarmed, we'll leave all this blank, and I do not have any other major assets for creating stuff at this time on this particular version. But under the TCF unarmed weapon blueprint we made, we just attach unarmed weapon. And I think this might be it all done. Do one last little browse through my notes, just give me a moment and I'll double check, but I think this could be pretty much almost all of it done. Okay, I paused again for a second to do a couple of preliminary tests and checkups, and there was one little thing I did forget. After you make the unarmed PDA, go back into the base equipable, and in this variable here, set its base to the unarmed weapon blueprint we made. So it just sets automatically for an unarmed. Like unarmed is the default type of thing. Then another thing, if you want to test it, in the player controller blueprint under player equipment, there's a wee tab here called initial equipment, where you can set what the player is initially equipped with when when the game starts. At the start, it's like a chest plate, a sword, and a couple of other things. For now, I just deleted all that, so it's empty. So he starts with the player, just completely bare. And I've done a wee check here on the event tick, just to see we get the combat component. Okay, check if the weapon is complete, if it's valid. If it's not valid, it'll say hello. If it is valid, then it should come up as the unarmed. Even though a weapon is equipped, it should come up as unarmed, because that's the only PDA thing I have at the minute. Like if you set each individual PDA that you make for each weapons and such, it'll be different. But like I said, because I've only got the base lines of the system, so we're moment of truth to test. Yes, I compiled it. Yes, good. Right. Start, as you can see, it starts as hello. That means the weapon is not invalid because nothing is equipped. Click on a weapon, and there we go. I believe that is pretty much all sorted. Stats have stopped working. That is not good. Not good at all. We know that part's working, so I can get rid of that. Baseline. All up and running. I see what it is. That's a working now again. Yeah, that's a working now again. Yeah, what happened was I while tweaking about there doing some tests, I accidentally in the player controller blueprint under the stats, I accidentally deleted these, and it stopped them showing up there. But that's them all working again now. So we start up. As you can see, starts naked and bare. Equip a sword. Damage, your attack speed go up. Equip the armor, your armor goes up. And these will get all your stats and data as well from each of them data asset PDAs you make up. Add the shield, you get you the armor. And that's showing you your max health and your max stamina. Dig all from them. Inventory. Health potion under Z. And there we go. Right, and for increasing stamina. Yep, no one for stamina, so we'll test that. Yep, there we go. 50, 100. I don't know why the bar stayed yellow. I'll look into we fixing that, and if I find out, I'll post that just on the in the description box itself. I won't hold up a tutorial any longer now, just for the sake of a something that's probably some wee fiddly issue of some wee stat. Somebody else might even find a solution for it before even I do. But I won't hold up the tutorial anymore, because I know that quite a few people have been waiting for this since this new combat system has came out. So there you have it. Like I said, this is a very baseline introduction to the system, because what I was given was a very minimal test sample of the plugin and the combat system, so it didn't really have any kind of example stuff and all to really use or get deep into the instructions. But so I wasn't able to get into like the abilities or the map of the quests or anything like that. None of that's set up for me or anything yet. Most of them should, except for maybe the abilities. I'm not too sure how they work because I haven't had a chance to look into them yet, know how the combat system's ability system works. But the map stuff and the quests, that should come just from the items you pick up, which And the interactions and such and all automatically work for should all automatically work now in the inventory system, and the crafting system does work as well. In fact, I'll go over to the give you a couple of examples here. You see a locked door, we pick up the key, use the key on the door, and it's open. And the key is no longer in the inventory then once it's used. So as you can see, that's used. You can interact with these, move them about, such and such, and all these will move. We'll come into storage here. It's a hold, so I hold the button, opens the chest. Take everything out of here. You can see it all goes into my inventory. And then we come over to the forge here. And let's see, we want to craft a helmet. We'll craft it. We want to craft a pair of pants. We'll craft them. And as you can see, they're in our inventory. Equip that. That adds to your armor. Equip that. Once again, adds to your armor, and they attach. Weapon. Shield. Ooh, kit and caboodle. There, he's all decked out. Now you can all just set which animations you like, what's all the combat styles you want, and Bob's your uncle. So I hope this tutorial has helped for you, at least even some, get an idea of the merging and such, and on how to integrate other things themselves. One of my next ones I might work on will probably be a locomotion system for it, something a bit more in depth using the Easy Locomotion Toolkit. And like I said before at the start, I'll post the descriptions in the, I will post links in the description, I should say, to both the inventory system, which I suggest people check out, and the combat system, which I definitely suggest people check out because it is quite impressive so far from what I've seen. And I'll also post a link to the Discord channel where you can come and join us once you're verified. And if you have any issues or need any help with any of the combat systems and all, they'll give you links to tutorials, documentations, and even help you with this integration. Okay, I've droned on long enough for this, so I will leave you all to it. Thank you. Goodbye.